US that don't apply to an Australian context. We have many social safety nets, and I guess the sort of impetus behind the work is to try and open up that discussion and comparison. Is that kind of answering your question?
I'm wondering what the students think of the political effects, perhaps, when or what do you think? Just say you were reading this politically, what do you think how would you describe this? Has it had a political effect? Has it entered into the dialogue of politics, or is it more about the artist's work? Is it more about the artist and his...
Can you have a stab?
I'm not really sure, but it's like with the works out there, it's kind of a little bit hard because
It's what?
Well, because it's like about... I mean, it's not just about America, because it's sort of depicting places and people in America. I don't know if it sort of...
What's it saying about them? The people he depicts, what does it... That there is a certain class he's picked.
Yeah.
I went to a talk on Thursday night by the guy who developed the precariat thesis. The precariat being the new class system, so that he's an economist, and he's saying that all you guys are probably heading towards it. We who don't work full time or don't have ongoing, we're all part of this precariat class.
Yeah.
And for people who are really highly educated but have to do jobs that they weren't educated for, and when they're asked what do they do, and they may not have a job, and the social services, or it's part neoliberalism basically. But these are all precariats to me. They're all these people who are on the fringes who he does divide the precariats up. He sort of calls them the lumpen precariat. And then there's you guys who are the educated, I'm not saying you're all, but all of us are the educated precariats who he's saying has the political agency. So I suppose what I'm asking is if these guys, is Amiel exploiting the images of these people, or is he seeing them as this class that needs mobilisation? So that would be a political question I might ask of the work.
I think many of the videos in here are much more effective than any of the other works in the exhibition.
Yeah.
And I know you mentioned skepticism about a filmmaker using other practices, and for me, like a work like this, I'm very skeptical about. To me, it's an imitation of what one would expect to see in a gallery context. I'm sure we all saw David Strigley's works at the NGV, and for me, it was a work like this is kind of a bit of
Derivative of...
and a bit representative of like an artist making work that one would expect to see in a gallery rather than, I don't know.
That's a really interesting observation. So it's almost like while we're playing to strength here, and we're behind here we want to present something that you would expect to see in a gallery.
I feel like these works are playing to his strengths as a filmmaker, and the other ones are not, and are more derivative, like a general contemporary art.
It's quite a good observation. Any other comments?
I was just going to say, since he traveled to America, he has that fascination of that relationship with the country, and then making these works based on, I guess, the prisoners who are on death row, and it kind of does talk about, or makes the audience think about, I guess, not just issues happening in America, but in all parts of the world as well. But because he is focusing on America, for me personally, it reminds me of the issues that is happening, with recently the gun shooting, the open fire, and it's hard to not think about that stuff because it sort of resurfaces and resonates with you, I guess, with that tension, with the images, the drawings. It's very dark and also really disturbed, like you were saying before, that inner psyche of, a particular person. And when we looked at the photographs and how you talked about, that the type of class or people being released back into society. There's always that confliction or again like tension between one class of people and another, and it kind of just makes them kind of contrast and come together. So it's for me I feel that which is good. It's a good. It makes me think as someone who is in this 21st century, how do I talk about this? And what is he trying to say?
Well, it's very interesting you bring that. So, and I'll allowed to film this bit, but you can't. But
right.
It was
drop
so
it.
just no, it's fine. There was lots of a great many sort of images that there was to choose from. So this currently here, Emil shooting in Oklahoma and making a feature, and the images, some of the material that we were looking at, to play on these two, were a lot more ham-fisted. So there was actually a male stripper with a bunch of girls, and then over here there was a guy. He'd been to a shooting range with some pretty scary kind of characters, and it was again very heavy-handed. Violence against women. This kind of gun culture, and then you're like, okay, let's be more elegant and I guess more suggestive with regard to the sort of material that is played, and that it still can evoke those kind of readings from you where you have your own your knowledge, and then you bring that without being sort of smacked up the head with it, which is very it's always. Less is more. Allow the audience, allow you guys, particularly as practitioners, give your audience the intelligence. Don't.
I guess it just depends on what you are open to, what you have been seeing. These days we're just being bashed in the face with all this sort of media. I'm not aware of these issues. Maybe they might have a different point of view to what I have. I kind of picked up on that was that one using that.
There's a tension, and it is with all of Emil's work. It's like something is really tightly coiled, and there's a disquiet with that, and you're sort of waiting any moment for that. I call it like you're waiting for the material to king hit you, and it generally does. At some point within the sort of narrative structure, you can always expect that from Emil's work, and the idea was to keep that coil tight, and not let it, just to keep it tight so you get that disquiet feeling rather than actually have it spring and breaking noise.
And I know it keeps it consistent throughout. I'm always that. It's like just being on edge all the time.
Yeah.
What do we think of the drawings? Because they were unexpected, weren't they?
Yeah. This is, so just again, you're working, with a practitioner. There's that delicate balance too, as I guess the facilitator or the producer or curator, whatever you call yourself, about encouraging various elements to come into the conversation and discouraging others. And then also how you will aesthetically manifest that. That is a very delicate collaboration, because it ultimately is, what gets, often again in a film and in a gallery, what gets edited out is generally as revealing as what remains in. Again, it's about, this is a whole space. It has two elements, and it's creating the experience of that element. So this is very sort of outward, skin first kind of encounter, like you're driving through a town and you're meeting various sort of characters along the way, and then you would start to go more into a kind of internal world, which is what this is in essence.
Well, that was fantastic. I think we're done? It's nearly 1 o'clock, isn't it?
Perfect.
I know, it's great.
Any other questions? Yes.
Has he done any work similar to this sort of vein of poetry
No,
in Australia?
no, this is the first sort of, no, this is the first, yeah.
I'd be interested to see, like, talking about the comparison between the sort of social structures in Australia and America. Whether
Oh, has he done work in Australia?
yeah,
Oh.
I mean, there's similar style.
Not within a gallery context, but definitely if you do a search on him, you can find his work. And I'd say the original project was Chasing Buddha, which was shot in the US, and then Ruin was shot in Vietnam. So there is definitely an appetite to go into other sort of contexts and cultures, and to I guess sort of excavate a story from that landscape. The Bastardy is a really good example of his work locally. He also did I'm pretty sure he didn't like it, like a doco with Ben Lee. I remember what it was called for ABC years ago. Yeah. That Ben didn't like it.
Oh, right.
I'm probably talking out of school.
No.
Any other questions? No?
That was a fantastic